If you are at all interested in supply chains or just how a massive city actually works, then this is for you. Picture this. You're on a crowded Mumbai train platform at noon. It's loud, it's chaotic, people moving everywhere. And yet somehow, thousands of these metal lunchboxes, the dabbas, are being sorted with like the precision of a Swiss watch.
It's all born from this very simple, very human need for Garka Khana, home-cooked food. That's what started the Mumbai Dabbawalas back in 1890. A man named Mahadeo Havaji Bache saw a need.
And for over 130 years, they've run this logistics network that just, it almost defies belief. We're talking about moving something like 200,000 hot meals every single day across one of the most densely populated places on Earth. And they do it with bicycles, with trains, on foot. And here's the kicker, with almost no IT, no real tech. I mean, their reliability puts some billion-dollar tech companies to shame.
And that's really the core of our deep dive today. We're looking at this century-old system, this low-tech marvel that became a Six Sigma success story. Our mission is to figure out how they achieved that near-perfect accuracy with such simple tools. And then, crucially, what happens when that system slams into the modern world, the COVID-19 pandemic, and, of course, the gig economy.
Okay, let's start with the sheer mechanics of it, because it sounds impossible. Coordinating 5,000 people moving 200,000 containers across Mumbai on time every day. Without GPS or scanners, how does this logistics ballet even work?
It really is a masterclass in coordination, yeah. It's all built around a hub-and-spoke model that uses the Mumbai local trains as its backbone. So the journey for one Dabba starts at home. A Dabbawala on a bicycle picks it up, usually by around 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
That Dabba is then taken to a local sorting point, usually right near a train station. It's sorted into these big wooden crates with hundreds of others going in the same general direction. And then it gets on a commuter train. The trains are everything. The whole network is timed to their schedule.
And we should be clear. This single lunchbox is changing hands at least 3 or 4 times, right? There's the collection, the handoff at the station, the sorting, the train sorting again at the destination, and then the whole thing in reverse in the afternoon. With all that noise and speed, how do they keep Mr. Sharma's lunch from ending up in a totally different part of the city?
That is the absolute genius of their low-tech coding system. They don't use electronics that can break or run out of battery. They use a shared visual language.
Painted right on the lid.
Exactly. Just a few letters, numbers, and colors. A color for the collection area, a code for a railway line, another for the destination station, and then a number for the final address or the specific delivery guy's route. For the Dabbawalas, many of whom, might not have much formal education, it's way faster and more reliable than trying to read a complicated address.
So the low-tech solution is actually the high-efficiency solution here because it's built for human eyes in a chaotic environment.
Precisely. You think about it, a barcode scanner has to stop and scan each item. They can read these codes on the fly while the crates are still moving. And this is why their metrics are so staggering. Forbes gave them a Six Sigma rating back in 2002. And for anyone listening, Six Sigma means an error rate of like 3.4 mistakes per million.
And the Dabbawalas were even better than that.
Oh, way better. Their rate was closer to 1 mistake in 6 million deliveries. That's 99.999% accuracy.
It's unbelievable.
It means they might misplace one box every couple of months while moving 200,000 every day. This is why people from Harvard, from FedEx, have come all the way to Mumbai just to study how they do it.
And that discipline isn't just about paint and codes. It has to be cultural. Which brings us to their structure. This isn't some big corporation. It's a worker-run cooperative. How does that shape everything?
The trust you need for the logistics it's literally baked into the business model. You have about 5,000 members, right? They're organized in these small teams. And crucially, most of them come from the same rural areas in Maharashtra. So they're these incredibly strong cultural bonds.
And a flat hierarchy, I understand.
Totally flat. They call it peer governance. There's no CEO in an office somewhere. The leaders, the mukaddams, are just senior Dabbawalas who are still out there working, riding the trains. All the big decisions are made collectively.
But doesn't a flat structure that relies on community ties, doesn't that risk things like nepotism or just making it hard to enforce rules? How do you maintain standards when everyone's an owner?
The incentives are aligned to prevent that. Yes, new recruits are often relatives, but they're trained on the job with this motto: work is worship. Service comes first. But more importantly, every single person has a direct financial stake in the service's reputation.
Right, and that stake is tied to how they make money. customers pay a really low monthly fee. What is it, around 300 to 600 rupees?
Which is maybe $4 to $8 a month for 6 days a week, delivery and pickup.
It's an unbeatable value proposition.
Absolutely. The collective turnover is around 40 crore rupees annually, which is incredibly efficient. But here's the most critical part, I think. The money a team earns. It's split evenly among all the members. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a senior mukaddam. You get the same pay.
Ah, so that's the accountability mechanism.
That's it. It forces the senior guys to train the junior guys well. It means everyone covers for each other. Because if one delivery fails, everyone's paycheck gets a little bit smaller.
So this system, built on trust and incredible execution, it ran like clockwork for more than 100 years. But then it hit a wall. A couple of walls, really. Let's talk about the existential threats, starting with the COVID-19 pandemic.
The pandemic
Okay.
it laid bare their one big vulnerability. Their entire system depends on the local trains and people going to offices. When Mumbai locked down in 2020, their service shut down for the first time in 130 years.
And that must have been just devastating for the cooperative.
Completely. 90% of their customer base vanished overnight. White-collar workers were all at home. A Dabbawala who used to make maybe 20,000 rupees a month was suddenly making barely 5,000, if that. Their entire reason for being just stopped. Many had to go back to their villages, do farming, construction, anything to survive.
And even before that, the ground was already shifting under their feet because of the gig economy. The food delivery apps like Swiggy and Zomato.
That's a huge structural challenge. Two-pronged, really. First, you've got customer habits changing. The apps offer you variety, on-demand, instant gratification. The Dabbawalas offer reliability and home-cooked food. They're fighting for the same lunch money with a different promise.
Yeah, on the other front.
Labor. They're competing for workers. A younger person today might look at the hard, disciplined life of a Dabbawala and compare it to the flexibility of being a gig worker. And then, post-pandemic, you have hybrid work. Fewer people commuting every single day, which really undermines their whole subscription model.
So you have this collision, a low-tech system that thrives on daily volume running up against a hyper-digital, flexible world. The question becomes, can trust alone be enough to survive?
Well, they're proving just how resilient they are. They realized they couldn't just be food couriers anymore. They had to pivot. And they're leveraging their two biggest assets, their last-mile reach and the incredible trust people have in them.
So how are they doing that?
Through a really smart, careful embrace of technology. They launched something called Digital Dabbawala. And it's not just a food app. This is where it gets really interesting. Some of them now carry tablets and biometric devices.
What for?
For e-governance services. Think about it. In India, things like registering a rental agreement online or updating your national ID card, your Aadhaar card, that requires trusted verification. The Dabbawalas are already at people's homes and offices every day. So they're perfectly positioned to offer these trusted, in-person digital services for a fee.
That's brilliant. They're not just moving food, they're moving trust. They're upskilling their workforce and creating a whole new revenue stream.
Exactly. They're strategically rebranding themselves as general last-mile service providers. We're seeing new partnerships, too. They're working with a restaurant group to deliver pre-ordered meals to people working from home. So they get a piece of that market without having to pay those huge commissions to the big tech platforms.
And they're getting into food production themselves, I read, setting up their own kitchen.
Yeah, a centralized or cloud kitchen. They got a big grant, about $2 million from HSBC, to get it started. This Meal by Dabbawala service turns them into a food provider, not just a transporter. They can serve offices, schools, whole new markets.
And they're even modernizing the old school parts.
They're experimenting with e-bikes, electric bikes, to go faster, carry more, and be more sustainable. They're showing they can merge their old world operational genius with what the modern world demands.
The whole story, this whole saga of survival, it offers so many lessons for any business today, especially if you're facing disruption.
It absolutely does. First, it's the power of a strong, trust-based culture. They achieve world-class quality without a bunch of managers and surveillance. Second, it proves that innovation doesn't always mean high-tech. Their simple color code system is often better than a complex bit of software in their context. And third, it's just a masterclass in resilience. They're repurposing their core skills, that local knowledge and reliability, for totally new services.
They are, in so many ways, this lean, green, eco-efficient machine. Reusable containers, no waste, powered by human muscle. And as the world sprints towards AI and automation, the Dabbawalas are this powerful reminder of the competitive advantage of the human touch, of reliability. So the question for you to think about is, can they strike that perfect balance? Can they bring in the tablets and the e-bikes, but preserve the human soul of the cooperative, the shared profit model that made them great? That tension between preserving tradition and embracing change, that's a question worth considering for the future of any organization.
Thank you for listening to Mission Possible, innovating for the world's most marginalized. This podcast is built on the outstanding work of our students, whose curiosity and commitment drive much of the research and storytelling you hear. Each episode is grounded in academic research and shaped through close collaboration with our partners. To learn more about the research and partnerships behind this podcast, feel free to contact us. Thank you for joining.